So today is March the 8th, 2020. I thought I would do a video of my shop and show you where it is, what's inside, and how I do my work. So anyway, this area is a gated storage area, and all of these storage units you see are actually old rail cars that they used to use before the days of refrigerated cars. These are all 40 feet long, 10 feet wide, 10 feet high. And anyway, the walls of them are just like super thick. And maybe you can see up there on top, there are some ports up there at each end. And back in the day, they would open those ports and drop dry ice in these, and that's how they kept goods that got shipped cold. So anyway, these are pretty cool units. They've all got electricity to them, and you can see the thickness of these doors and walls, so they are well insulated. So based on what I post on YouTube, everybody pretty much knows me as a mineral collector, which that is the case, but in addition to that, I do some artistic rock work for galleries here in New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado. But anyway, let's get back to the minerals. These are some recent pieces of my petrified wood that have been replaced by copper minerals that I'm working on for an upcoming gem and mineral show here in Albuquerque in 2 weeks. So anyway, I'm working on cleaning these up. This one here, I'm gonna polish this top. You can see where I kind of started grinding the rind off, and so anyway, I'll be polishing that piece up. So over here, I don't think I've ever shown these, but I do a kind of a what I think is a cool idea. I collect a desert sage twigs out in the high desert, and I have them casted into bronze, solid bronze. And this is what they look like. So like that piece right there is a solid bronze. Put a little bird on it and got it set on a piece of petrified wood. Here is one that I've yet to send to the foundry to have it patinaed, but that's going to be a cool piece. And here's one that I've had done actually for a couple years. This is one of the very first ones I did. And so I also do a book. I call these Desert Transformations. So I did a book to where when you thumb through it, it pretty well describes the process of how these are made. You know, starting off with where I find them, the process that they go through to be casted, and then patinaed. Like for example, there is that piece as I found it out in the desert. And there it is right now. And these I sell through a gallery down in Tubac, Arizona for the most part. And then over here, some more mineral specimens I'm getting ready for the show. Then over here, this is the work that I do for these galleries. There's one primary customer in Madrid, New Mexico at Indigo Gallery, and that artist who is also the owner, does a really cool sheep that she fashions after petroglyph drawings. And so I do all of the rock bases that she sets those on. Here's one where I've drilled a hole in this black galaxy hornfell, and this sheep is going to stand on it. And so I have drilled that all the way through that rock, and I'll countersink the hole to where the sheep can be bolted to the rock. And of course right here, everything that I do where these sheep sit on top of these rocks, it has to be perfectly level. So I've got a piece of granite here that I have shimmed up to where it is dead level. So I work these rocks back and forth between here and my grinding area over there to where they don't wobble and the tops are perfectly level. Back here is a nice hornfell that was the end cut off of a boulder, so it's really got a beautiful pattern in it. So I'm going to polish this up and see if I can't sell it at the Gem and Mineral Show as a piece of artwork. And all of these rocks under my counters are these hornfells all along here. All along over there. And all of these in this area, they are all the same material. And once again, it's got this really cool white veining in it, which makes it a really pretty ornate rock. So the way those white veins formed in there is this dark rock originally did not have those white veins. They were cracks in the rock, and over hundreds of millions of years, the white mineral, I don't believe it's not calcite. I've tried testing it with acid and it doesn't fit, so it must be quartz. But at any rate, it filled all the holes in the rock and now are white veins. And here is a pathway rock that I made where the artist puts a bunch of small running sheep along that pathway. And these are pieces of petrified wood that I'm working on to get ready for this main gallery in Madrid. Here's a Septarian nodule from the Nacimiento mine, and that calcite fluoresces like hot charcoals. So anyway, this was a perfectly book match set that I cut. Hope to sell that at the Gem and Mineral Show as well. That's about 4 inches in diameter. Here is the saw that I use for cutting most of my rocks. It's got a 14-inch blade on it. And lots of times it won't cut all the way through, so then I use this big Makita grinder down here that has got a big 12-inch blade on it. And in order to contain the dust and not breathe any of it in, this is a grinding booth that I built where I've got an exhaust fan that I turn on whenever I'm doing any cutting and grinding. And I'm getting ready, like I said, for this big Albuquerque Gem and Mineral show that's happening in 2 weeks. So this is where I'm getting ready for. So anyway, I think my video cut out, but anyway, this is where I'm getting all my specimens ready for this upcoming Albuquerque Gem and Mineral show. Once again, here's a lot of my Nacimiento mine petrified wood that's been altered by copper minerals. Here is some goethite and hematite that I traded some of that material over there for some of this. The guy who's got this mine is called the US 60 mine down by Socorro. And then over here, got my selenite roses from down by Balaga, New Mexico. And here's some calcite and whatnot from some Septarian nodules up around Cabazon Peak. There's some really cool poker chip calcite crystals in there that you got to get them in the right angle to see them. Oh, this is the one over here. This is some nice poker chip calcite crystals. And then this volcanic looking material, I've shown that on YouTube before. It's called Shite, and it comes from Utah, and this formed by a 185-year-old coal seam fire. And they built a road right through the hill where this occurred and has exposed it. So anyway, once again, I've got a presentation on YouTube where I videoed that entire road cut, which shows the anatomy of a coal seam fire quite nice. But yeah, these are really cool. Looks like volcanic rock, but it's not. It's actually melted hot enough by a coal seam fire and turned it into molten rock just like lava. And then over here, got some more of it. And back over here, here is a calcite crystal. Again, this came from a Septarian nodule out by Cabazon Peak. And when I broke that open, this is exactly how it broke. That's about 1.5 inch crystal. Can't believe it did not break, pop off. It actually stayed right in place, and I've done nothing but clean that with water. And let's see, over here are those twigs that I get casted into bronze. So these are still wood. But as you can see, because of their exposure on high ridges, they are all gnarly and twisted and develop some really cool growth patterns. And then over here, there's some banana boxes I've got ready for the show for some of my larger pieces. That there is a 12-inch piece of selenite rose. Over here I've got bags of rocks where, as I trim specimens all during the year, I keep all those trimmings, and when I'm out collecting, I pick up small pieces and I put them in bags, and these sell like hotcakes at the Gem and Mineral Show. So that's what these are. And like, for example, there's a banana box of these rocks. And anyway, I went to the Blanchard Mine yesterday and picked up a whole bunch more of them, as well as some really cool specimens. So I'm going to do a separate video on that as well. So yeah, and then underneath here, underneath these benches, are more of those hornfills. And then down here, I've got some Arizona picture stone. It's got nice patterns in it. I buy this in Holbrook, Arizona, but anyway, I use these as bases as well for the artist who puts their bronzes on them. And here is more of the hornfill boulders. And here's finally some smaller pieces I've got boxed up for the Gem and Mineral Show. Some couple nice Blanchard pieces, a nice Moki marble, and some cool selenites from Cave of the Swords. There's a really pretty piece from the Nacimiento mine with some really nice chrysocolla on it. It's a real beauty. And then here's some smaller pieces where I, again, polish a little face of it to highlight the chalcocite metallic interior. And here's another one over here. It's quite nice. So that's it for today.